What if everything you've been told about happiness, about needing others to feel complete, is wrong? What if true freedom and peace come from within, not from the people around you? Imagine waking up every day, not needing anyone's approval, not seeking validation, and standing in the full power of your own presence. That's the art of living alone. In this video, you'll discover how to embrace solitude in a way that transforms your life. It's not about loneliness. It's about embracing the strength, wisdom, and freedom that only comes when you learn to live on your own terms. If you've ever felt lost, trapped by the expectations of others, or even afraid of being alone, this is the video you need. Get ready to break free from dependency, build a life that fulfills you alone, and unlock a peace that no one can take from you. Let's dive in and uncover how living alone is not just a choice. It's the ultimate path to self-mastery. 1. Embrace solitude as a path to self-discovery. Living alone isn't just about being physically by yourself. It's about being present with yourself in a deeper, more meaningful way. In today's fast-paced world, we often lose touch with who we truly are because we're constantly distracted by the noise of external influences, family, friends, social media, and societal expectations. Buddhism teaches that solitude is not a punishment or a state of loneliness, but rather a sacred opportunity to reconnect with our inner essence. It is in solitude that we can hear our thoughts clearly, without the clamor of others telling us what we should think or feel. When we stop seeking validation from those around us, we begin to free ourselves from the need for approval and start trusting our own judgment. This is where the magic of self-discovery happens. In the quiet of solitude, you can start to hear the subtle whispers of your soul, the desires, the passions, the dreams that have always been there but have been drowned out by the constant noise of life. Solitude allows you the space to sit with yourself and ask the most important questions. Who am I? What is my true purpose? What do I really want from life? These questions may feel uncomfortable at first, but they are crucial for uncovering the authentic self hidden beneath layers of influence. As you spend more time alone, you begin to unravel the layers of conditioning and external expectations. You'll uncover truths about yourself that you may have never realized, things you love, things you value, and things you want to change. This process of self-discovery is liberating because it frees you from the need to live according to others' definitions of success or happiness. When you discover who you really are, you'll start living with more authenticity, acting from a place of inner clarity rather than external pressure. You'll make decisions that align with your true desires, not what others think you should do. The more you embrace solitude, the more you come to realize that you were never meant to depend on anyone else for your sense of self. Instead, you have the power to define who you are and live in alignment with your own values and dreams. 2. Let go of attachment and find true freedom. In life, we often hold on tightly to things, people, places, memories, and even expectations, thinking they are the keys to our happiness. But Buddhism teaches us that attachment is the root cause of suffering. We become so attached to the idea of how things should be or how we want them to turn out that we forget to live in the present moment, free from the burden of these expectations. Living alone offers the perfect opportunity to practice letting go of attachments. Without the distractions of others, you are faced with the challenge to learn how to release the things that weigh you down. Whether it's the attachment to a person's approval, the idea of what your life should look like, or the need to control everything around you, letting go of these attachments opens up a new space within you, a space for peace and freedom. When you stop clinging to things and people, you realize that nothing outside of you can truly provide lasting happiness. Happiness is not something that can be found in external sources. It is something that arises from within. The more you release attachments, the more you come to understand that your worth is not defined by others or by external circumstances. As you let go, you begin to experience a profound sense of freedom. You no longer feel burdened by the constant need for validation, nor do you fear the loss of things that are not meant to stay. You realize that everything is impermanent, and that's perfectly okay. This understanding brings peace, because you learn to accept the ebb and flow of life without being shaken by it. Living alone gives you the space to practice non-attachment daily. You can begin to detach from the pressure to conform, from societal expectations, and from the need to always be surrounded by others. This is not about rejecting relationships or experiences, but about recognizing that true peace comes from within and that you can find joy in the present moment without clinging to what is temporary. The more you embrace non-attachment, the more you discover the freedom to live authentically without the weight of external pressures. You stop chasing after things that don't serve you and instead start living in a way that honors your true self. True freedom is found not in accumulating or holding on to things, but in the courage to let go. 3. Cultivate inner peace. Through meditation. One of the most powerful gifts that living alone offers is the ability to cultivate deep inner peace through the practice of meditation. Buddhism teaches that peace is not something you find in the outside world. It is something that you create from within. When you are alone, you have the perfect opportunity to carve out time for this sacred practice, free from the distractions of the world around you. Meditation is a way to quiet the mind, to still the constant chatter that often prevents us from truly experiencing the present moment. In the noise of daily life, we rarely have the space to sit with our thoughts and emotions, to observe them without judgment. But when you live alone, you create a sanctuary for your mind to settle, allowing you to tune in to the deepest layers of your being. When you meditate, you learn to focus your attention inward and to calm the racing thoughts that dominate your mind. This practice teaches you to observe your thoughts without becoming attached to them or letting them control you. Over time, this mindfulness creates a sense of inner balance and tranquility, a peace that no external situation can disrupt. Through regular meditation, you also begin to develop a heightened awareness of your emotional state. You become more attuned to your feelings and learn to respond to them with calmness and clarity rather than reacting impulsively. This deep self-awareness allows you to understand yourself better and make choices that align with your true values. Living alone gives you the space to build a meditation practice that suits you. Whether it's a few minutes of focused breathing each morning or longer sessions of mindfulness and reflection, you begin to experience the profound stillness that comes when you focus on your breath and let go of everything else. This peace is yours to keep, and it becomes your anchor no matter what challenges life throws your way. Meditation isn't just about quieting the mind. It's about reconnecting with your essence and learning to find peace within yourself. The more you practice, the more you realize that peace isn't something you have to chase. It's already inside you, waiting to be uncovered. And as you spend time alone, you begin to realize that your inner peace is the most powerful tool you can have to navigate the complexities of life. 4. Understand that happiness comes from within. In a world constantly telling us that happiness is something we need to chase, whether through success, material possessions, or the approval of others, Buddhism teaches us one profound truth. Happiness is not something you seek outside of yourself. It is something that comes from within. When you learn to live alone, you discover that the external world may offer fleeting moments of joy, but true and lasting happiness is built from the inside out. For years, many of us have been conditioned to think that happiness is something we find in relationships, careers, or possessions. We are taught that once we achieve certain things or accumulate certain experiences, we will finally be happy. But living alone strips away these external distractions and gives you the opportunity to reflect on the deeper nature of happiness. As you spend more time by yourself, you begin to realize that happiness isn't a future destination. It's a state of mind that can be cultivated in the present moment. True happiness arises when we stop looking for it outside and instead begin to nurture it from within. When you are alone, there are no distractions to keep you from tuning in to your thoughts, your emotions, and your needs. It's in this space that you can begin to discover what makes you truly happy, not the version of happiness imposed on you by society, but the version that is uniquely yours. Instead of waiting for external circumstances to align perfectly to bring happiness, you begin to cultivate it by changing the way you approach life. You stop chasing external validations and start focusing on nurturing your own well-being. This could mean prioritizing self-care, engaging in activities that bring you peace, or simply learning to accept yourself fully without the need for anyone else's approval. Living alone allows you to rediscover the simple joys that don't require external validation. Whether it's savoring a peaceful morning coffee, reading a book that inspires you, or going for a walk in nature, these small moments can become the foundation for long-term happiness. Happiness becomes less about what you have and more about how you choose to experience the world. Additionally, living alone teaches you the importance of emotional resilience. Rather than relying on others to make you happy, you learn to manage your emotions and reactions independently. You realize that your happiness isn't dependent on others' behavior or circumstances, but on how you choose to respond to them. In this way, happiness becomes an internal practice, one you can cultivate every day, regardless of what's happening around you. This lesson isn't about rejecting relationships or experiences that bring joy. It's about understanding that happiness doesn't need to come from them. Instead, it's something you can generate within yourself at any time. By shifting your focus from seeking happiness externally to creating it internally, you empower yourself to live a life that is fulfilling and free from the need for external approval. Living alone helps you embrace this deeper sense of happiness because you are no longer dependent on others or circumstances to fill your emotional needs. You are free to experience joy in its purest form, the kind that radiates from within and lasts, regardless of the ups and downs life may throw your way. 5. Develop strength and resilience. Living alone can be one of the most challenging yet transformative experiences you can have. It's a path that forces you to face yourself, your fears, your limitations, and your inner strengths. In solitude, you are forced to confront life head-on, and in doing so, you build the strength and resilience to handle anything that comes your way. Buddhism teaches us that suffering is an inevitable part of life, but it's through facing and embracing that suffering that we develop true strength. When you are alone, you no longer have the luxury of relying on others to help you through tough times. You are your own source of strength, and in this, you realize that you have within you an incredible reservoir of resilience you may not have known existed. At first, the idea of living alone can feel daunting. There are moments when the weight of solitude can feel overwhelming, when you're dealing with challenges, tough emotions, or difficult life transitions without anyone to lean on. But it's in these moments that you have the opportunity to grow stronger. You learn that, in the face of hardship, you have the power to carry yourself through. Resilience doesn't come from avoiding difficulties. It comes from learning how to navigate them with grace, patience, and determination. When you live alone, you begin to realize that challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities to develop your inner strength. Whether you're facing external challenges like financial difficulties or internal ones like self-doubt or loneliness, living alone teaches you that you can endure. You learn how to find solutions, adapt and move forward even when things aren't going as planned. In solitude, you don't have the comfort of constant distractions or the support of others, so you have no choice but to look within for guidance and strength. This process of self-reliance fosters a sense of empowerment. When you rely on yourself, you come to realize just how capable you truly are. You begin to trust your judgment and decision-making, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the tools to navigate life's challenges. Through this journey, you also learn to build emotional resilience. You start to understand that emotions, like all experiences, are temporary. In difficult moments, instead of allowing your emotions to control you, you learn to acknowledge them, process them, and let them pass. Buddhism teaches the importance of mindfulness, of being aware of what you're feeling without becoming overwhelmed by it. Living alone gives you the perfect opportunity to practice this as you face your emotions head-on and learn to manage them with clarity. Another critical aspect of developing resilience through solitude is learning the art of patience. When you live alone, you often have to wait for answers, wait for opportunities, wait for change. This waiting period becomes a powerful teacher. You learn that growth takes time and that nothing happens overnight. You come to accept that life's challenges are not meant to be rushed through, but experienced at their own pace, with patience and understanding. And perhaps most importantly, living alone teaches you how to rise after a fall. Resilience is about getting back up after you've been knocked down. It's not about avoiding pain or failure. It's about using those experiences as stepping stones to build a stronger, more grounded version of yourself. When you are alone, you may face setbacks, but it's in these moments that you learn how to persevere, to keep moving forward, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. By embracing the strength that comes from living alone, you not only develop resilience in the face of external obstacles, but also cultivate a deeper inner strength. You realize that no matter what challenges you face, you have everything within you to overcome them. The more you practice this self-reliance, the more confident you become in your ability to handle anything life throws at you. You start to see that living alone isn't a weakness. It's an opportunity to discover just how strong and resilient you truly are. Living alone is a powerful reminder that you are capable of facing life's hardships with courage and grace, and that resilience doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from learning how to rise stronger from it. 6. Create your own purpose and meaning. Living alone can be one of the most profound opportunities for self-reflection and growth because it gives you the space to explore and create your own purpose, free from the influence of others. In a world where many of us are conditioned to follow prescribed paths, be it career expectations, social norms, or the desires of others, it's easy to lose sight of our true calling. But when you live alone, you are presented with a unique chance to reclaim your life and create meaning on your own terms. Buddhism teaches that true fulfillment arises from living a life that is in alignment with your own purpose and values, rather than living to meet the expectations of others. When you remove the distractions and pressures that come with living alongside other people, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you. You can reflect on your past, your experiences, and your deepest desires, and begin to carve out a life path that feels authentic to you. For many people, this process of creating meaning begins with introspection. In the quiet of solitude, you can ask yourself the most profound questions. What am I passionate about? What are my values? What do I want to contribute to the world? These questions might seem daunting at first, but they hold the key to unlocking a life of purpose. By stepping away from the noise and expectations of the world, you gain the ability to truly listen to your heart. Living alone creates the perfect environment for this kind of self-reflection. Without the external voices telling you what you should be doing, you can connect more deeply with your own inner wisdom. When you live without the need to constantly please others, you begin to ask, what do I truly want out of life? In this space, you can embrace the freedom to design your life according to what brings you true joy and fulfillment. Furthermore, living alone allows you to pursue your purpose without the distractions or judgments of others. It gives you the freedom to experiment, to fail, and to grow, knowing that your journey is your own. You are not beholden to anyone else's standards or timelines. In solitude, you can create your own rules for success. For example, you may find that your true purpose lies in creativity, whether that's writing, art, music, or any form of self-expression. Without anyone else's input, you can fully immerse yourself in your creative process, free from fear of judgment. You may discover new interests or passions that you didn't even realize you had, simply because you now have the time and space to explore them. You might realize that your purpose lies in helping others, but this time it comes from a place of self-awareness. Without the constant noise of the outside world, you may see where your skills and gifts can truly make a difference in others' lives. In solitude, you become more attuned to the ways you can contribute to the world. Living alone also means you are not living by anyone else's timetable or sense of achievement. Instead of measuring your success by the standards of others, you start to create your own benchmarks of progress. You begin to realize that the meaning you seek doesn't have to be grand or externally recognized. It can be simple, personal, and fulfilling. This sense of purpose becomes the compass that guides your actions and decisions, bringing deeper satisfaction and meaning to everything you do. As you dive deeper into the process of creating your own purpose, you learn to trust yourself. You develop the confidence to make decisions based on what feels right for you, rather than on what others expect or think is best. This is empowering because you are no longer dependent on outside influences to validate your choices. Your purpose is anchored in your own soul, and this gives you an unwavering sense of direction. When you live alone, you have the opportunity to cultivate a life that is uniquely yours, free from the pressure of living up to someone else's expectations. You realize that meaning is not something that is handed to you. It's something you create by aligning your actions with your true self. This is what makes your life meaningful. It's not about following someone else's path. It's about walking your own, guided by your values, passions, and deepest desires. Through the practice of living alone, you begin to see that purpose is not just a goal, it's a way of being. It's about living each day with intention, cultivating peace within yourself, and moving through life with a deep understanding of who you are and what you are here to do. And in this, you will find a deeper sense of fulfillment and joy, knowing that you are living life on your own terms. 7. Independence is the highest form of self-respect. Independence is not just about being physically alone. It's about gaining the strength to stand on your own emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Buddhism teaches us that true freedom comes from within and that independence is the highest form of self-respect. When you live alone, you are gifted with the opportunity to learn what it truly means to rely on yourself, to trust your own judgment, and to honor your needs without external validation. In the modern world, there is often an implicit belief that we must constantly be surrounded by others, whether it's family, friends, or romantic partners, to feel complete. However, Buddhism asks us to consider that true completeness does not come from others, it comes from ourselves. Independence, in its most profound sense, is the ability to live authentically and confidently without being dependent on others for your sense of self-worth or happiness. Living alone forces you to take full responsibility for your own life. It's in the quiet moments when you are alone that you realize the weight of the choices you make. The direction of your life, your emotional well-being, and your mental peace all fall under your own care. When you no longer depend on others to dictate your emotions or decisions, you develop a sense of empowerment that no external validation can provide. You become the author of your own story, and every decision you make is aligned with your true self. Independence is not just about physical solitude, it's about emotional independence too. It's the ability to be okay with who you are, even when no one is around to affirm you. It's the freedom to embrace your own emotions without feeling the need to explain or justify them to others. When you live alone, you are invited to feel your feelings, process them, and let them pass without being overly influenced by the opinions or reactions of those around you. This emotional independence allows you to cultivate a strong sense of self-respect. You stop seeking external approval because you realize that your worth is intrinsic. It's not defined by anyone else's opinion of you. You are enough just as you are. The more you respect yourself in solitude, the more you come to understand that you don't need others to validate your existence. You can stand tall, firm in the knowledge that you are valuable because of who you are, not because of who you are connected to. Living alone also teaches you the value of self-sufficiency. It requires you to face challenges head-on without relying on others to rescue you or offer solutions. Independence means taking ownership of your life, even when the road gets tough. When challenges arise, you learn to rely on your own strength and resilience to get through. You begin to trust yourself in ways you never have before. You learn that you are capable of handling life's difficulties, and in doing so, you develop an unwavering belief in your ability to create the life you want. The beauty of this self-reliance is that it builds a quiet yet powerful confidence that radiates from within. It's the kind of confidence that comes not from proving yourself to others, but from knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way, and that you don't need anyone's approval to feel secure in your own skin. One of the most important aspects of independence is the ability to create boundaries that serve and protect you. When you live alone, you realize that you have the power to decide who and what you allow into your life. You are no longer constrained by societal pressures or the expectations of others. You become the gatekeeper of your own energy, and in doing so, you protect your peace, your joy, and your well-being. Independence means knowing what you need and taking action to create the life that nourishes you, without compromising your values or happiness for anyone else. Independence, ultimately, is about honoring yourself deeply. It's about learning to make decisions based on your own needs, desires, and values. It's about trusting yourself, your abilities, and your intuition. The more you practice living alone, the more you come to realize that the greatest respect you can give yourself is the freedom to be fully who you are, without needing anyone else to define or validate that. When you embrace independence, you elevate yourself. You stop seeking to please others or live by their standards, and you begin to honor your own path. This is the highest form of self-respect, and it is the foundation of true freedom. Through independence, you become your own greatest ally, knowing that you have everything within you to create a fulfilling, meaningful, and authentic life. Living alone teaches you that you are the greatest source of strength and guidance in your own life. And the more you embrace this independence, the more you come to see that true self-respect lies in trusting yourself completely, living on your own terms, and standing tall in the power of who you are. 8. The power of solitude in transforming your life. Living alone offers something incredibly rare in today's fast-paced world: the opportunity for complete transformation. When you embrace solitude, you unlock the power to reinvent yourself in ways that were once unimaginable. Buddhism teaches that solitude is not just a space for rest, but a powerful catalyst for personal evolution. It allows you to leave behind the person you once were and step into the version of yourself you were always meant to be. You are free from the distractions, judgments, and expectations that others may impose on you. Without external influences, you have the freedom to explore your true essence, your passions, and your purpose. No longer do you need to fit into a mold shaped by society or by the expectations of others. The space of solitude gives you the chance to redefine who you are on your own terms. Living alone enables you to confront your deepest fears and challenges, and in facing these head-on, you unlock new strengths you never knew you had. When you don't have anyone to rely on, you realize that the greatest source of strength lies within you. You learn how to cultivate self-discipline, build emotional resilience, and take full responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and decisions. One of the most powerful aspects of living alone is the ability to create the life you truly want without the pressure of fitting into someone else's plan for you. You are free to chart your own course, experiment with new ideas, and explore new passions. Solitude fosters creativity because it gives you the space to think outside the box and pursue what truly excites you without fear of judgment or failure. Whether it's starting a new project, learning a new skill, or pursuing a lifelong dream, the solitude you experience when living alone serves as the perfect environment for growth and reinvention. Living alone allows you to practice mindfulness in a deeper way. When you are by yourself, you can cultivate awareness and presence, allowing you to live more consciously and intentionally. Every moment becomes an opportunity to deepen your connection to yourself and the world around you. You learn to be present in your own life, embracing each moment without the distraction of seeking approval or validation from others. Solitude also gives you the time and space to heal. Many of us carry emotional wounds from the past that we've never had the time or energy to fully address. Living alone allows you to process and release these old pains, giving you the chance to move forward with clarity, strength, and a renewed sense of purpose. As you heal, you start to shed old limiting beliefs and patterns that no longer serve you, allowing you to step into a new chapter of your life. Through solitude, you become the architect of your own transformation. You realize that no matter what your past looks like, you have the power to create a future that aligns with your deepest desires. The more time you spend in solitude, the more you come to understand that transformation is not a matter of waiting for change to happen. It's a matter of taking responsibility for your growth and consciously creating the life you want. The power of solitude doesn't just lie in the time you spend by yourself, but in the deep inner work it encourages. It teaches you to reflect, to learn from your experiences, and to make intentional changes that bring you closer to your true self. Through this process, you realize that the life you're living right now is a reflection of the choices you've made up until this point. And through solitude, you have the power to choose again. Living alone gives you the space to redefine your life, reimagine your future, and reawaken your true potential. Solitude becomes the crucible for your personal transformation, allowing you to shed the old and step into the new, free from the constraints of others' expectations. In this way, living alone is not just about being by yourself. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Living alone is not just a lifestyle choice. It's a transformative journey towards self-mastery. It's a path that teaches you to embrace solitude as a space for growth, healing, and true self-discovery. Through the lessons of independence, self-respect, emotional resilience, and purposeful living, you begin to realize that the greatest source of strength and happiness lies within you. As you navigate the challenges of solitude, you gain clarity on who you are, what you truly desire, and the life you want to create. You discover that happiness, peace, and fulfillment are not dependent on external circumstances, but are cultivated through the way you choose to live, think, and connect with yourself. In the silence of living alone, you uncover the wisdom that has always been within you. You build a life that is authentically yours, free from the distractions and pressures of the outside world. You learn to honor your emotions, trust your own decisions, and cultivate a sense of purpose that is deeply personal and fulfilling. As you continue to embrace the art of living alone, remember that solitude is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. It offers you the space to heal, grow, and become the person you were always meant to be. Now take this power of solitude and create a life that reflects your true self. Live authentically, live freely, and embrace the peace that comes from knowing you are enough, just as you are. The journey of living alone is not about being isolated, but about finding the strength and wisdom that comes from within and using it to build a life that is meaningful and fulfilling.